Alright everybody, so I need something to do for the next 15 minutes or so before I have to go to work, so I decided to just make a little video about some updates Bungie is coming out with for Destiny. I was perusing Kotaku's website the other day and I found some articles about Destiny, and one in particular talking about how Bungie is patching the cave, the loot cave. If you guys don't know about it, it's this cave that was found on a certain part of the Earth level in patrol mode, where enemies would just keep spawning over and over again. They were really easy to kill. A bunch of players would stand a certain distance away, shoot them, kill them, and they'd end up dropping for some reason. They had a pretty frequent rate of dropping some decent loot. They had a frequent rate of dropping loot. It wasn't always decent. In fact, sometimes you'd have to be there for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours in order to get something good, but people would just sit there killing those enemies and farming. So that's how a lot of people were spending their time on Destiny, trying to get good loot. And I mean, I guess it worked for some people. I tried it a couple times. I managed to play for like 15 minutes, and then I just got bored of it, and I said, okay, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore. But you know, it worked for some people. But yeah, they're killing that cave. There's they're reducing the spawn rates and all kinds of stuff. Actually, Bungie actually is doing a lot of updates to Destiny to try to fix a lot of things. So I'm gonna leave this I'll leave the links to both these pages, the Kotaku article talking about it and the Bungie.net developer notes or whatever it is on their website. And yeah, here's what they had to say about the cave. This is Bungie speaking. The social experience of a cave farming run is amazing. The herding to get a team of guardians all behind the line and firing in the right direction. The rush to grab the loot, the scramble when the panic wave starts. The beckoning glow from inside the cave. The speed at which the community organized around this activity was inspiring and humbling to us. But shooting at a black hole for hours on end isn't our dream of how Destiny is played, which that makes sense, I guess. Our hope is that social engagement in public spaces is only one part of the Destiny experience. Expect changes soon, which decrease the efficiency of cave farming and correspondingly increase engram drops from completing activities, which is a big problem. This is why people were doing this in the first place, because the loot system is so fucking ridiculous. You can just sit here farming these enemies over and over again in this cave, and they would drop a frequent, drops of engrams and loot. And then when you would do stuff like going on strikes and beating these really tough enemies and beating the bosses, and they wouldn't drop anything, like, ever. And it's like, well, I could go on strikes and maybe get one engram from like one of the enemies and maybe get something, or I can sit here for 30 minutes to an hour shooting all these fucking enemies in this cave and I can get a lot more. So yeah, they also have they have more to say about the loot and why it's random. I don't want to get too far into that, but they did say they'll expect changes to the loot system and like how certain things I don't want to get into that right now, but let's just say that the loot system kind of sucks right now and everybody knows it. And Bungie said they're going to address it. I don't really know what they're going to do. They were kind of vague here, so I'm not even going to bother trying. They talk a little bit about the Vault of Glass, whatever. Oh, here's some more stuff. Social. Okay, voice communication. As far, like, for right now, there's no way to talk to people in-game. And I don't even think you can talk to people in voice like, you can't do any sort of voice chat unless you're in a party. That's the only way you can talk to people over, Destiny. You can't do it in matchmaking. You can't do it when you're running around the world and you run into people. You can't talk to them. So this is what they said. Our vision for Destiny is that all players, even match-made players in the Crucible, it should be especially match-made players in the Crucible, strikes in tower or public places, be able to communicate with one another. It's kind of a no-brainer. You're gonna have this matchmaking system with multiplayer PvP kind of stuff, and you're not gonna have, voice communication. That's kind of stupid, but they said they're working on it. So here's what they had to say. Voice communication is the easy answer, but existing voice paradigms, including those in our own Halo games, have not done enough to protect players from abusive griefing from a minority of players. Like, fucking get over it. That's why we have a mute button, by the way. I don't know what they're even talking about. Destiny's near-term solution will be to allow players to opt in to voice communication during match-made activities, which that's a decent idea. I really like that. You can decide for yourself if you want to turn on the chat and whatnot. Work on this feature was underway at launch and should be rolled out this year in Strikes and the Crucible. Then, you know, that's fine enough. If they don't want people to have voice chat, I think they should do it like for the entire game, like Crucible, Strikes, raids, you know, patrol, campaign missions. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably never going to touch another fucking campaign mission again, but that's a total different story. They should have addressed the storytelling and the boring level design in the next update, but I don't think there's anything they can really do about that. Activities. Strikes are intended to be fun, combat-filled romp and stomp with a big boss and cool rewards at the end. Better with cooperation, but doable in a pickup group. Since launch, we've tracked down an issue which made strikes more challenging than originally designed by both increasing damage taken by players and decreasing the damage inflicted by players on the boss. And I've noticed this. Fucking bosses in the strikes at the higher levels, they... Jesus Christ, man. They fucking, they're such bullet sponges. It's insane. And the damage output that they do to the players is just insane. It's absolutely ridiculous. I know exactly what he's talking about. Oh, they also need to fix the part where when you're in a fucking strike and you almost have the goddamn boss beat on the hard difficulty and you're about to get a fucking challenge or bounty for it and the fucking game disconnects you right before you kill the damn boss and beat the fucking strike. Fix that shit too. That happened to me the other night. I was doing the weekly heroic strike thing for the extra experience and like loot or whatever the hell it gives you, and we had been struggling through this entire strike, and right at the end we had the boss down to about 10% health, and boop, just kicks me right off of the server. Oh god, oh man, I don't even know. That pissed me off. Oh, anyways, balance. Our goal when balancing Destiny is never have one player choice. For example, a choice of class or weapon either be so much better than the alternative that is the only valid choice, or be so much worse that would always be a mistake to choose. Basically, what they're talking about is how the fucking assault rifles are just completely better in PvP. That's one example. Some people are using the hunter class because it has that fucking blade dance shit, and they, God, that's ridiculous. That is fucking stupid. But yeah, they're saying they don't want all the they don't want one certain weapon or one certain class to be so good or so bad that it either has to be chosen or it cannot be chosen. So they're saying they're gonna work on that. So hopefully they fix a few things there. Exotic weapons. They're designed to look, feel, and sound overpowered, but to not actually break the game. And what they're saying here is that apparently people who have gotten exotic weapons, they are extremely underwhelming, actually, and they said they're going to work on making them better, but people are saying, I don't have an exotic weapon, so I don't know. I haven't seen one. I haven't used it, so apparently they're not very good. And right here, they're going to start talking about auto rifles, scout rifles, and shotguns. So this is what I was talking about earlier. They're talking about auto rifles now. The auto rifle archetype is designed to appeal to players who like to throw up a wall of bullets and not worry if a few miss their target. It is intended to inflict sustained damage at close to medium range, but to lose effectiveness at longer ranges, which they don't. Assault rifles in this game are fucking, that's the way to go. If you're having a bad game with any other weapon, switch to an assault rifle and you can just destroy everyone if you know what you're doing. Today the auto rifle is too effective at long range, even beating scout and pulse rifles, and that's why I don't use those weapons. I can only use, sometimes you can use scout rifles and pulse rifles and get a decent game, but for the most part, if you see a person with an auto rifle and they see you, or if they have an auto rifle and you have a scout rifle, or vice versa, usually the auto rifle is going to win that fight. If you see each other at the same time, even sometimes if the scout rifle or the pulse rifle gets the first shot, auto rifles are just so good, and they shoot so straight, and they're very stable, not a lot of kick to them if you find the right one. There's only like 2 that I've seen that have any sort of real kick to it. So assault rifles, or I keep calling them assault rifles, auto rifles are they're just the way to go, really. And they're so, like they were saying earlier with balance, they're so vastly superior to the other weapons that it's just like, well, what's the point? If I can use this auto rifle in pretty much any scenario, then I will. So they're saying they're going to make adjustments to stability and or damage. So yeah, that makes sense. I can dig that. I prefer damage, honestly. You know, well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe make some of the auto rifles, you know, stable but do less damage, and then make some of them do more damage but they're less stable. That would be a good idea. So, scout rifles. Scout rifles are for players who like to keep their enemies at medium range and hate to miss. They are intended to be an awkward weapon to use up close range, but to be dominant as long as you land your shots at medium to longer ranges. Scouts just aren't hitting hard enough today when compared to other precision weapons. We'll be addressing this soon, and that's another thing I've noticed. Scout rifles, it seems to me like with auto rifles or with pulse rifles, especially auto rifles, like 3 to 5 bullets will just completely destroy a person. But with scout rifles, it seems like it just doesn't put out damage very much. So like they're not, at least none that I've used. It takes a lot longer to kill people with a scout rifle. So they're saying they're going to do something about that. They'll be addressing it soon. I don't know when these updates are going to take place, but you know, they say soon, so apparently they're working on it. Now here's the big thing right here, and this is what I'm probably most happy about. Shotguns. Shotguns are for those situations where you need to deliver a massive spike of damage right now to the thing standing next to you, about to do you harm. Today's shotguns are effective beyond their intended range. No shit. Oh my god, they're fucking, they're like snipers, man. Especially when upgraded with that intention. Expect changes soon to address shotguns, which push the envelope of what it means to be close quarters. Yeah, thanks for helping us drive these changes. Keep sharing, keep talking. We're watching and listening. Now, Bungie's always been a really good developer at listening to the fans and making changes when they need to. So I'm confident that Bungie's going to do a good job with these updates. And I do think it's a good idea that they fix mainly the loot system. And of course there are some balances they need to make in the matchmaking, for strikes, for loot drops and stuff like that. When you kill a boss, you need to get something for it. Yeah, I understand them wanting to fix the cave, but multiplayer. I mean, they can't forget that they have multiplayer in this game, and that is going to be a huge part of this game, whether they want it to be or not, because they dropped the ball on the single player. Or on the campaign, I mean, the storytelling sucks. You know, it's the actual story itself is totally vague, and there's almost no way to really know fully of what's going on. There's no explanation. Nothing happens that really lets you know exactly what's up, and it's just an all-around not a good story so far. So people, you know, are leaning on the multiplayer, and people are really enjoying the multiplayer, so they have to do what they can to keep that balance. That's really all I have to say. Overall, I do like this game. I mean, it definitely has some problems with it, but I mean, no game's perfect. Let me know what you guys think about Destiny, and what you think about these changes that are coming out. Let me know what you think about the matchmaking system, the loot system, voice chat, all that stuff. Strikes, raids, if you've done it. I haven't done a raid yet. Haven't had the time. I think I just unlocked it too, so I don't even think any of my friends have it, because I mean, you can't go into raids with in matchmaking, so whatever. Yeah, that's gonna be it. I will leave the links to these two articles here so you guys can read them. Pretty good. Oh, and Kotaku did an amazing Destiny review. I'll leave that in the description too. It was a really, really well done review, and when I read through it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's pretty good. Anyways, I gotta get ready for work. It's fucking Catterday, man. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoy. Let me know what you think, and have an excellent day.